It's up to one of these riders to grab enough points to overtake Gary Goodfellow's championship points lead. The riders off the start into turn one. It's Michele Mercier, number one, putting that Suzuki out in front here on the opening lap. Number 87, Murphy on the Kawasaki, was right there with him as the riders break at the end of this straightaway going into turn number two. But it's Mercier already opening up about 3 or 4 bike lengths. Mercier, who began road racing on these very production bikes and from there moved on to his feats in superbike racing, doing an outstanding job here on the opening lap.
Pat, for a guy that hasn't ridden a production bike this year, I know he's riding Goodfellow's machine, but boy, is he ever putting a job together here right off the bat.
Mercier out of the hairpin, stretching it out here on the back straightaway as the rest of the field tries to chase him down. Murphy, 87 on the Kawasaki, having a real battle in there with number 7, Jean Paquette, who's running third. There is Michele Mercier heading into the chicane now for the first time and looking very smooth out there on the machine. And there, the rear wheel lifted as he got on the brakes very hard. Going into Allen's corner, there's Murphy retaking that second place position after Paquette had got around for just a few moments. Murphy in second, 7, Paquette up into the third place spot. And in fourth is Lusby, number 13 on the Kawasaki. He's having a good run on the 750 Kawasaki. There is Paquette again, right on the rear wheel of Murphy as they break off the end of the straightaway and back into turn two. That's a tremendous 4-rider race for the second place spot. And at this point, it is all Michele Mercier, 66. That is Pierre Martin. It looks like he will have to park his Kawasaki, and Murphy has blown the engine. Lusby off in a cloud of dust. There's a second and a third rider down. Yes, there is Lusby running over to his machine. He appears to be okay. There were 2 other riders that went down. There is Jean Paquette. It looks as though he is favoring his left wrist, so he evidently has damaged the wrist in the crash. And you saw Crevier running over to his machine, so we've had 4 riders crash.
Well, Pat, the organizers have red flagged this race as there's a lot of oil laid down on the line by Murphy's Kawasaki. And here's another look from a different angle of the incident. You can see that Lusby, Paquette, and Crevier had no chance to avoid the oil, and there's the result.
That's Lusby's Kawasaki flying through the air, doing a complete 360, and I think the bike is going to be...
Pat Murphy now becomes part of this sellout crowd at Shannonville as we're ready to restart in single file this Pro 750 production race.
Again, Mercier will lead it through turn one. Craig, you know now, with Crevier not able to start along with Murphy, Tommy Douglas is the only rider in the field who has a shot at taking the championship away from Gary Goodfellow. So Gary still has a chance at winning it here this afternoon if Douglas does not finish up, I believe, in the top 5. So Tommy Douglas is going to try to run near the front as Mercier, number 1, leads it out of turn 4. And again, as in the original start, he's beginning to stretch out quite a lead here on this opening lap. Michele Mercier, number 1, flying out in front. The battle is on for the second place spot, involving number 97, Richard Gref, the rookie, number 101, Steve Dick. Then comes rider number 185, Tommy Douglas.
Well, as you said, Pat, what we should be looking for now is whether or not Tommy Douglas can come 5th or better. And if he does, he'll pick up enough points to beat Gary Goodfellow, who has 45. Douglas has 40. Really, this should be an outstanding achievement for the Laval, Quebec rider, and you know it would be due mainly to consistency rather than wins this year.
Changing that second place position, Steve Dick has moved around Richard Gref to put his Allied Honda machine into the number 2 spot. Gref, the rookie, doing a great job here, holding on to 3rd. And then it's 185 Douglas back in 4th, and you can be sure his crew is going to be giving him the pit boards to let him know exactly where he's running on the racetrack as he runs it up out of turn number 1. Rider back in the 5th place spot is 115 Richard Jago, who actually was the mechanic, the tuner on Lusby's Kawasaki machine earlier this year. He's decided to go back production racing.
Well, we're looking at racing right now, Pat. You know, this has become very, very popular with both the dealers, the fans, and the manufacturers, because these bikes can be bought right out of the dealer's showroom. This is true production racing.
While some of these bikes put out over 100 horsepower off the dealer's showroom, The riders will put a little better quality tire on them, some other safety changes, but other than that, you're looking at box stock, street legal machines running here on the racetrack. This is a great run between the local rider from Belleville, Brian McClooney, another rookie, number 601, and 199, John Ramsey from Nova Scotia, as they have a race going on for the 7th place position. There is your leader, Michele Mercier, number 1, and boy, has he done a job here on this Suzuki production machine. But again, this was where Michele Mercier began racing, on this track and on the production bikes, and he's gone back to his roots here this afternoon. 101, Steve Dick in second, and now the race for third between 97 Richard Gref on the Honda and 185 Tommy Douglas, with a championship on the line here today at Shannonville, running back in the 4th place position. Douglas can afford to ride a little bit conservatively right now. You can see he's not pushing it that hard, trying to be very, very smooth through the chicane, but still within striking distance of that 3rd place position.
Well, that's the game Tommy's played all year, Pat, and he's very, very good at it. Mr. Consistency himself, and he's proven it out here today.
I'm not sure if he's going to take a run at Gref here with the last lap flag out. We've got less than a lap to go, and in fact, Gref and Douglas not all that far behind Steve Dick, number 101. Tommy Douglas on the back straightaway for the final time. He's got less than a lap to go, and if he can hold on to that 4th place position, the championship will be his. But here is the rider who's dominated the proceedings here this afternoon, and again, you could see Mercier, although he's got a commanding lead, almost threw it away into that corner. Here's the checkered flag out at the line. Michele Mercier will win it. A fine ride for Mercier as he waves to the crowd. Here is Tommy Douglas. He will finish in 4th, just behind 97 Richard Gref, and he will win the championship.
That must be a great feeling for Douglas as he takes his first championship in only his 2nd year